Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being present at this screening of another film by Jean-Luc Godard. As you know, the 10th Lisbon International Film Festival is presenting an almost integral retrospective by Jean-Luc Godard. Now we're going to see Made in USA. And to present it, we have one of the more renowned critics and one of the more influential critics working today, Jonathan Rosenbaum. He's American, and his thinking has shaped a lot of, I can speak for myself, a lot of young viewers and young people who see films. He has contributed to very prestigious publications like the Cahiers of Cinema, Film Comment, and he's also a professor, as far as I know. You teach at the Bellatar Film School, right?
Yes.
So his thinking, the way he thinks, is very important to all of us, and especially to the festival. We thank you for being here, and so Made in USA is up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your kind remarks. I'm glad there's a bigger turnout for this film than the other Godard films I've attended. This is one of Godard's most radical films of the 60s. In many ways. For one thing is, it marked the only time, I think, in his career when he actually was making two films at once. He was making Deux Trois Choses que je sais d'elle, or in English, Two or Three Things I Know About Her, and Made USA. And I don't think he was shooting them at the same time, but I think he was shooting one in the mornings and editing the other in the afternoons and evenings. And Made in USA is the lesser known of these two films for several reasons. Partly it's because it was withheld from release for a good many years because it's supposedly based on an American thriller, a novel, but they didn't clear the rights. And even though the relation to the novel is probably pretty slim, they had a problem, a legal problem in releasing it for a very long time. It's a film in which Godard is really kind of like, it represents, I think, in some ways, his farewell to Hollywood. I mean, he was steeped in Hollywood as a critic and really much interested in Hollywood, but mainly for political reasons, he became more and more anti-American during the 60s. He vowed to have references to Vietnam in every one of his films for a long period, including this film, I think. And I think he began to see Hollywood more and more as the enemy. So there's a lot of love-hatred for all things American in this film. And I think one feels the love and the hatred both, which is what makes it interesting. It's the way he conceives of it, in a way, as a critic, is almost like combining the violent crime thriller with the animated cartoon. There are a lot of references to cartoons in this film. Disney, Warner Brothers characters, like Daffy Duck and things like this. And it's almost like as if he's trying to show that there's a relation between violent crime thrillers and cartoons. Now, one thing that's important in this film that I can't talk about at all, unfortunately, because I don't know enough about, I hardly know anything about it, is the Bin Bark affair, which was a big political scandal that's very, very complicated. Even people who know something about it, I think would probably find it hard to give you a summary of it. But it was very much in Godard's mind when he made this film, and there are a lot of allusions to it in terms of the kind of background. It's told like as a detective story, but with Anna Karina as the detective, involving her missing lover. And there are more references to, sort of like American films and American directors than you find in almost any other film. I mean, like lots of references to films by like Otto Preminger, the kinds of noir films that he made. in the 1950s, Donald Siegel. In fact, when you get a reference to, Jean-Pierre Léaud plays a character named Donald, and one doesn't know if this is an allusion to Donald Siegel or to Donald Duck. A lot of familiar faces from other Godard films appear here. Also, a wonderful guest star appearance later on in the film from Marianne Faithfull, which is quite extraordinary. And I don't really know what else to say about it, except that I think it's another film that represents Godard's determination to put everything that he was concerned about and cared about into a film. So it has lots of digressions, and the digressions are sometimes more interesting than the main plot line. In fact, almost always more interesting in his films of this period than the main plot line. So I'm glad you came. Thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.